Imagine a steam locomotive soaring through the air, defying gravity. Sounds like science fiction, right? But what if I told you engineers in the past actually dreamt of making these iron beasts fly? In this video, we uncover the unbelievable forgotten technologies that were supposed to make it happen. Forget what you think you know about steam locomotives. These aren't just ground-bound machines. Prepare to have your mind blown as we reveal the audacious, secret engineering breakthroughs that aim to lift these giants into the sky. You won't believe the hidden history we're about to uncover. The dream of flight wasn't limited to airplanes. What if the very first locomotives were intended to conquer more than just rails? We're diving deep into the untold story of ingenious, forgotten technologies designed to give steam trains the power to overcome gravity. Discover the incredible aspirations that time nearly forgot. Let's begin by stepping back into an age when steam power still felt magical. In the early 20th century and even the late 19th, steam was king. The driving force of industry, transport, and imagination. Engineers and inventors looked at what steam could do, not just push a locomotive along rails, but maybe beyond. They wondered, what if we could break free of the limitations of tracks? What if a steam-driven machine could take to the air? It sounds wild, but in that era, the scientific aspirations extended far beyond simple locomotion. The public was entranced by speed, flight, and transformation. Faster trains, higher travel, more daring machines. This cultural context is key. The vision wasn't just practical. There was a layer of fantasy. The idea of faster, fantastical transportation captured the public mind, and engineers responded with bold ideas. Railways wanted to go faster, break records. But some pioneers wanted more than speed on rails. They wanted lift, defiance of gravity. Now let's look at concrete attempts and hidden blueprints that whispered of flying locomotives. One intriguing example, the so-called aerial steam carriage, developed by William Henson and John Stringfellow in the 1840s. Their machine was not a locomotive on rails, but a steam-powered heavier-than-air craft. It shows how steam and flight were being tied together even then. Even more obscure, an engineer named Kaufman reportedly proposed a machine in the mid-1860s that essentially took a small steam locomotive body, added large wings, approx 70 ft span, and attempted flapping wing motion to lift it. According to a modern write-up, his machine was a real heavyweight, basically a small, oil-fired steam locomotive fitted with wings, and he believed it was based on sound principles. We also see hidden patents from very early eras aimed at improving boilers and wheels for steam locomotives. For example, a 1833 U.S. patent on boiler or steam generator improvements. These patents hint at a willingness to push steam beyond conventional uses. What we don't necessarily have is a large number of surviving, fully realized flying locomotive machines. But the conceptual groundwork exists. Engineers explored technologies like compressed air, magnetic levitation, much later on, high-pressure steam, and novel lift mechanisms. In short, the blueprints and ideas were there, though often hidden, speculative, abandoned, or marginalized. The forgotten engineers, names like Kaufman or lesser-known inventors, are seldom in the textbooks, but they attempted to push steam into the skies. Here we dive deeper into the specific technologies that were proposed to lift these steam machines off the rails. First, advanced boiler pressures and thermodynamic principles. Steam engineers knew that higher pressure meant higher energy per mass of steam, more work. For a machine to lift off or at least reduce weight, pushing the envelope of boiler design was key. Some conceptual locomotives proposed super boilers or ultra-high pressure steam systems, which would dramatically boost the power-to-weight ratio. Next, the surprising connection between early rocketry and steam engine design. While rockets are different, some engineers recognized that once you separate from the rails, you need propulsion beyond wheels. Steam had been used for propulsion already, ships, early locomotives. So with imagination, the idea was, Can we adapt steam's power to produce thrust upward or backward, not just along rails? Third, proposals for wings or fins on steam locomotive bodies. For example, Kaufmann's flapping wing locomotive design above attempted to combine a steam boiler and locomotive body with large wings oscillating at high speed to lift. It may have been impractical, but shows the ambition. Using steam not merely for forward motion but for lifting and stabilizing in air. Additionally, while not direct examples of flying steam locomotives, the later development of magnetic levitation, maglev, gives us insight into how rail machines might leave the rails. Patents from the 1990s show levitation and guidance via superconducting magnets and linear synchronous motors. Thus, the liftoff technologies fall into categories: extreme steam pressure systems, wing and fin structures for lift or guidance, and ultimately propulsion levitation systems. Let's now explore some of the most radical, little-known proposals for gravity-defying steam locomotives. One category: steam-powered gyroscopic stabilization and lift. The idea: a heavy locomotive body could be stabilized, and perhaps lifted, by spinning massive gyros, using steam power to drive the gyros and control motion. While I did not find a surviving full-scale example of a steam locomotive with gyros for lift, the conceptual idea appears in speculative engineering literature. The fact that gyros took off in aircraft and ships indicates engineers considered stabilization and control in 3D, not just along rails. Another category: integrating jet-like propulsion with traditional steam locomotives. For example, some conceptual designs propose steam boilers powering nozzles or steam jets to produce lift or thrust. Similarly, wings, fins for aerodynamic lift tied to steam power. While many such machines never moved beyond drawings or small models, the ambition is clear. Why didn't these fly? The societal and economic factors were significant. Railways were heavily invested in track infrastructure, heavy machines, coal steam logistics. A flying locomotive would require new infrastructure, safety standards, radically different materials, lightweight, strong, and it also risked railway companies' investments. The economic burden and technical challenge were massive. Also, safety and practicality issues. A rail-tied steam machine is inherently heavy, whereas flight demands low weight, high power, and structural integrity. Many of these bold ideas were ahead of their time, and when the era of internal combustion, diesel, and electric traction came along, interest in steam's next leap faded. Finally, let's look at how these forgotten dreams influenced future technology and what they mean today. Although no widely used flying steam locomotive ever emerged, the conceptual legacy lives on. Many of the principles explored, high-power thermodynamics, propulsion, levitation systems, fed into later high-speed rail, maglev systems, aerospace design. The leap from rails to flight is dramatic, but the imagination that produced locomotives in the sky helped seed ideas of transport thinking outside the rails. Steam locomotives such as Eleanor Class A3 4472, Flying Scotsman, nicknamed Flying Scotsman, hold symbolic value for this era of ambition. It may not have flown, but its name evokes that aspiration. Today, when we think of high-speed trains, maglev systems, hover trains, and transport ideas that defy traditional rails, we are echoing those old visions. The unfulfilled flying steam locomotive becomes a powerful metaphor for innovation, risk, and imagination. So I leave you with this. Imagine what could have been if one of these steam-powered leviathans did lift off. And imagine what future innovations might still draw inspiration from these forgotten dreams. The rail-bound world might have looked very different. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden history of steam locomotives and their skyward ambitions, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Which of these crazy visionary technologies surprised you most? Also, what futuristic transport idea do you think will come next? Thanks for watching, and until next time, Keep dreaming big. Keep looking beyond the rails. No more. Be more.